This is Mac OS Ken.
Trump tariffs hit Apple, iPhone in Europe gets a porn app, and Schmigadoon takes to the stage. It is Tuesday, the 4th of February, 2025. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Factor, meals that are smart and delicious. Get 50% off your first box plus free shipping with code MacOSKen50 off at factormeals.com/MacOSKen50 off. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. From CNBC, Apple shares fell more than 3% on Monday after President Donald Trump announced 10% tariffs on China, where the company assembles the majority of its products. Apple's decline was steeper than all of the tech megacaps other than Tesla, and shows how vulnerable the iPhone manufacturer could be to increased import costs. Or not. The piece says the ultimate effect of the tariffs on Apple's profit may depend on how much U.S. demand the company can fill from production locations outside of China, and help appears to be coming from outside of China. A piece from Apple Insider says certain iPhone components, including iPhone circuit boards, will no longer face import taxes in India as the country positions itself to weather changes in global trade. While import taxes that dropped in India in 2024 were said to be in the interest of consumers, the piece says the 2025 cut is being seen as India positioning itself and its market in preparation for the effects of any Trump administration tariffs. The move is to help incentivize companies to relocate manufacturing there and away from countries such as China that are at least likely to face tariffs. The Apple Insider piece explains that cutting component import taxes will make it cheaper for firms to assemble devices in India, and that sounds good to BofA analyst Wamsi Mohan. Seeking Alpha had Mr. Mohan saying in a note to investors on Monday, most iPhone models can now be manufactured in India. As the new tariff is imposed on imports from China, Apple could have its manufacturing partners ramp up production in India and ship to the U.S. This could also be done for other Apple products that are manufactured in countries including Vietnam, Malaysia, etc. The Seeking Alpha piece is a bit annoying, only because part of it is kind of vague. It says if Apple maintains its current price on iPhones, BofA expects earnings per share impact of -5 cents. However, a 3% increase in iPhone prices in the U.S. could offset that impact. It is unclear, though, whether that's in addition to increased production in India or instead of. It's also unclear how long it would take Apple to ramp up production in India, by how much. Chief takeaway of this piece, though, Mr. Mohan is not worried. At least not for now. He used Monday's note to reiterate his buy rating on Apple shares and his 12-month price target of $265. iPhone in the EU has gone porntastic, or can do anyway, thanks to the European Union's Digital Markets Act, or DMA, forcing the iOS ecosystem open to third-party app stores. A piece from TechCrunch says Apple now has a sanctioned native app for pornography. On Monday, the report says the alternative app store AltStore announced the launch of Hot Tub, an aggregator that offers iOS users a way to search and play videos from a variety of adult websites, including Pornhub, Xvideos, XNXX, and Xhamster. Sanctioned, but not approved. Not by Apple, certainly. The piece has Apple pointing out in a support doc that while apps made available through third-party app stores do have to go through a baseline platform integrity notarization process, they can include all sorts of things over which the company worries. That includes porn, drug use, alcohol use, use of weapons, hate speech, and so on. That said, that line between sanctioned, though not approved, is one that is apparently being smudged by AltStore. While the app has been notarized, meaning it should work from a technical standpoint, Apple does not approve. In a statement, the Cupertino company said, "We are deeply concerned about the safety risks that hardcore porn apps of this type create for EU users, especially kids. This app and others like it will undermine consumer trust and confidence in our ecosystem that we have worked for more than a decade to make the best in the world. Contrary to the false statements made by the marketplace developer, we certainly do not approve of this app and would never offer it in our App Store. The truth is that we are required by the European Commission to allow it to be distributed by marketplace operators like AltStore and Epic, who may not share our concerns for user safety." Now here's an odd question that occurred to me after reading and preparing this story. If Universal Pictures or Paramount or A24 produced porn, would Apple have a problem with it? Would Apple sell it and make it available? I'm thinking about a lot of the music that's available in Apple Music, and please don't think I'm stumping for music censorship. I am very much not. But there's lots of stuff in Apple Music that some might find questionable where kids are concerned. Kind of like the wealth of shoot-'em-up games in the App Store. And to that, Apple might say parental controls, but couldn't they say that for porn? Or against porn, I suppose? Now it sounds like I'm stumping for porn. I'm not doing that either. It's just interesting sometimes to note where the lines are drawn. Something of a surprise for phones in the iPhone 11 line. A piece from my download blog says they got a new version of iOS 18.3 on Monday. What does it do and why? None ya. It seems to squish a critical bug that was affecting iPhone 11 models, according to the report. That may just be a guess on the site's part, though. The piece says Apple's release notes don't mention what's new in the updated build, nor does the company's security page, which details critical bug fixes and security patches in its software. That said, assuming a critical bug fix does seem sensible, why else would Apple spend time on an OS for a phone that came out about 5.5 years ago now? More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, Factor, helping you optimize your nutrition in 2025. Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in no time, so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what the day brings. Of course, with Factor, the day brings great food that is fresh, never frozen, and so tasty. Last week I had their queso fundido and ground beef with cilantro cauliflower rice and roasted peppers. Loved that. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it is easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. And tasty too. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/macOSKen50 off and use code macOSKen50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code macOSKen50 OFF. Code macOSKen50 off at factormeals.com/macOSKen50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Apple's Swift Student Challenge is officially underway. As we heard early in January, the company encourages would-be participants to brainstorm and develop thoughtful ideas for apps that address important issues in their community and beyond. Past winners have included apps ranging from connecting peers to mental health resources, to identifying ways to support sustainability efforts on campus, and more. Going over eligibility requirements, a piece from Apple Insider says challengers can't be employed as professional developers and must be over 13 years old in the US or older in certain countries. They must be registered with a developer account and fit one of the requirements to be defined as a student. 350 winners will be named, students whose submissions demonstrate excellence in innovation, creativity, social impact, or inclusivity, according to Apple. All 350 will get a 1-year membership in the Apple Developer Program, a special gift from Apple, and other unnamed prizes. On top of that, 50 of those 350 will get an expenses-paid trip to Apple's Cupertino campus, where the company says they'll gain invaluable insights from Apple experts and engineers, connect with their peers, and enjoy a host of unforgettable experiences. It is a relatively short turnaround for this one. The entry window is only open for 3 weeks. More info is available on Apple's site. It is time to listen back to the year that was 2025. This is not a joke about it feeling like it's been a whole year already, though it does, and that's not funny. No, this is that thing where less than 35 days into the year, Apple Music has fired up its Replay 2025 playlist. By which I mean your Replay 2025 playlist. Mac Rumors says Apple Music flipped the switch on this year's list on Monday. As in previous years, the piece says the playlist ranks all of the music you've been listening to on Apple Music from 1 to 100, updating weekly so you can keep track of your most streamed songs of the year as 2025 progresses. The piece says the playlist will update every Sunday, as was the case this time last year. I haven't listened to enough different music yet to build a Replay 2025 playlist, which is strange. I'm pretty sure these first 35 days have been a whole year already. The Apple TV Plus hype machine is chugging along. Ahead of its start later this month, Apple TV Plus has released a trailer for the second season of the Gugu Mbatha-Raw psychological thriller Surface. Apple's press release says Season 2 follows Mbatha-Raw's character to London to unravel the secrets of her past. Season 1 is available to stream now on Apple TV+. Season 2 starts its run on Friday, the 21st of February. The second season trailer is available now on YouTube. And finally today, if you're in the DC area, you could probably use some fun in your life, and the Kennedy Center has it for a very limited time. The amazing and amazingly short-lived Apple TV Plus musical series Schmigadoon is live at the Kennedy Center through the 9th of February. This is apparently a Broadway-style musical presentation covering the first season of the show. Entertainment Weekly says the cast is all new, except for Anne Harada, who reprises her small-screen role as Florence Menlove. And there are 3 new songs. While this is a limited run for the production, show creator Cinco Paul hopes that the Kennedy Center run is just the beginning of a new life for Schmigadoon. Entertainment Weekly says he is eager to see it go to Broadway, but who wouldn't want to see a musical series they created go to Broadway? Fingers crossed that it will. Then one day they can make a movie of it. Then maybe one day even a TV show. Hey, wait a minute. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Factor. Get 50% off your first box plus free shipping with code MacOSKen50 off at factormeals.com/MacOSKen50 off. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. info@macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Did somebody say corn pudding?
No, nobody said corn pudding.